My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. What I have here is the United States Marine Corps Combat II tent. This one is made by Diamond Brands. In this episode, this is very much a first look. I'm going to set this up, we're going to take a look at it together, and from this point, I will begin testing out this product. I will do my best to push it to its limits. I want to know just how waterproof it is. I want to know how much snow it can handle. This is a 4-season tent. And it's huge. This is almost 10 pounds, everyone. 24 inches long, 7 by 7 inches. I'm going to set this up, we'll take a look at it. So here's the basic component breakdown. You have the body, you have the fly storage bag, you have the poles, tent stakes, and the storage bag. With this tent, everyone, you have 3 aluminum poles. All of them are the same size. Overall, the setup process is not the easiest in the world. I mean, it's not so complicated that you can't get it, but this is a process that takes time. There's 3 poles and there's sleeves that the poles go through. Now, unfortunately, it's not one solid sleeve. Like, there are these gaps in between them. So you have to slide it through, there's a gap. You have to slide it through, there's a gap. This is a really big tent, so those gaps are rather far apart. So it takes quite a bit of maneuvering to get to each one of those gaps and to slide the poles through. So unfortunately, it takes some time. Then it comes to the fly. Because of the design of the tent, the fly has to go on a specific way. And if you don't do it right, you have to start over. Next, when it comes to connecting the fly to the body itself, you have Velcro straps that connect the fly to the body. So overall, the setup process is not super simple, it's not super quick. Now everyone, let's go over the dimensions of this tent. It is 84 inches long, 59 inches wide, and 45.5 inches tall. This is, without a doubt, a very big tent. This is a 2-person tent, dome style, 2 doors, and the vestibules offer you 14 square feet on both sides. The tent fly is composed of a 70 denier nylon that is a ripstop. The tent body is also the same 70 denier nylon. The only difference is that it has not been treated with polyurethane, whereas the fly has been. It has no-seam mesh on the doors. The poles are aluminum and the stakes are aluminum. You receive the tent body, the tent fly, 3 DAC poles, 12 stakes, a repair kit, the storage bag, and also a storage bag for the fly. Inside of the tent, you also get a gear loft. Going back to the tent itself, it features taped seams, and the fly is reversible. This is the tan side, the other side is the woodland. And this fly is blackout capable. Let's take a break from the stats, everyone, and let's take a look at this tent. So, this is one of the doors here. With the doors, as you can see, they can be rolled back. And that's true for the front and also the back of the tent. Talking about the back side of this tent, you can see that the design of the door is different. When it comes to the tent body doors, they are virtually the same on either side. So you have 2 zippers, a very aggressive bathtub floor. As you can see here, the tent is huge. The only thing that you have to keep in mind here is the bathtub floor. This is about 7-8 inches high. So if you have mobility issues, this may not be a good fit for you. Once you're inside of this tent, it really hits you just how big this is. This is a 2-person tent, a true 2-person tent. Both individuals can sit up, full-size pads, gear, and so on. You have a pocket at each end, you have the storage caddy up top, and with the doors, you do have a mesh section here, and that's the case on both doors. So you can get some good airflow, even when you have this tent hunkered down. If it's storming, snow's blowing, you can close these. With this tent, my friends, there are no vents. So most of the air will come through these doors. Now that we've taken a look at the tent, let's talk about the price. The retail price of this tent from Diamond Brand is $250. The surplus market for this tent really has dried up over the years. You used to be able to find these very easily for very little money, but now things have changed. Even a used military surplus tent will run you almost the same price as buying it brand new. Around $200 used is the going rate. Now everyone, we should talk about the different versions of this tent. So with the Combat II, the military owns the intellectual property, right? So basically this is what happens. Every 5 years or so, or when there's a need from the military, the government will start looking for companies to make this tent. In the past, we've had Eureka make Combat IIs, we've had Diamond Brand make Combat IIs. Currently, Light Fighter is making the Combat II tent. This is the Diamond Brand version. From what I understand, every single version of this tent is virtually the same. Very little differences. And with that, everyone, let's go ahead and talk about my thoughts of this tent. I've mentioned already that the setup process is a little bit cumbersome, and it is for this tent. There are military tents out there that are much easier to set up than this. Those partial sleeves really do suck, in my opinion. I hate partial sleeves on other tents, and I hate them on this one as well. When you take this tent into your hands, the first thing that you will notice is like, wow, this thing is huge. The storage bag, I mean, it's like 2 feet long. It's super long, super heavy. The materials, incredibly burly. I mean, this is one burly tent. You have to think about this. The fly is a 70 denier nylon. The body is a 70 denier nylon. Incredibly thick, incredibly strong. I do have high hopes for this tent as far as waterproofing goes. Once you have this tent set up, the next thing that you notice is just how big this is. It's tall, it's wide, it's long. You will have to stake this out in very bad weather. In windy conditions, you will also need to use guy lines. Now, unfortunately, the tent does not come with any guy lines, so you have to supply those yourself. And you will need them. This is a very tall tent. So if you plan to go out into nasty conditions with it, bring some rope. Otherwise, you might be sorry. The last thing to mention is the fly itself and how it's reversible. That is interesting. I am curious to see just how well it performs. Is it waterproof to the same degree no matter which side you have it? Because the woodland side has a rain flap, a storm cover over the zipper, whereas the tan side doesn't. So I'm curious, does it leak more when you have the tan side up and out? I don't know. We will find out together. Well, everybody, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. Make sure to comment down below. Do you have any experience with this tent? Again, there are 3 different makers of this tent so far: Eureka, Diamond Brand, and Light Fighter. I would love to get my hands on the Light Fighter version. Light Fighter is a company that I have grown to trust over the years. They make excellent military products, and there's a reason why the US government chooses them to make these products so often. And it's not because they're the lowest bidder. That's not how the government works. That's a topic for another day. So anyways, everyone, again, comment down below, share your thoughts about this tent. Get ready. Some test night episodes are coming up. I will get this out into the wind, into the rain, into the snow. And I can't wait. Coming soon. Be well, strength and honor. Hit the thumbs up because it does help. I'll talk to you all again very soon. Bye for now.